Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Tom Slays. Welcome on in. Happy Monday. Let's get right into it, man. How we feeling? Another week, another chill show coming up. A lot of good stuff happening, man. But first things first is our new graphics, man. Let's fucking go. Finally. Um we ended up getting a nice graphic refresh. I finally finished that out, which I was really happy about. So let's get into it. But first off, we got Ghost in the chat coming through with a tier 1 for 3 months. Let's go, man. Welcome back to the squadron. I hope you enjoy your ad-free viewing, emote access, and all that good jazz. Thank you for the support, my friend. Well, let's fucking get how we feeling. So yeah, like I said, this is episode 217 of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Tom Slays. Welcome on in. Happy Monday. Let's see. So we got a couple things on the list today, my friends. We got the homie Pez in the chat. Welcome on in. I hope you're well. My work, but I'm listening to me, dog. Yeah, no worries. Do your thing, my friend. Always appreciate the lurk. Always. Hope your shift goes well, by the way. So, you guys know the drill. We're gonna get into some weekly recap jazz. We're gonna talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so, especially now that we have our new graphics and everything's rolled out. So that's finally a big W for us. And then we're gonna do some community feedback. I believe we're gonna do community feedback number 19, because we haven't done one for March yet, and we have like a whole bunch of stuff we actually can get done for discussion segments, which I'm actually really excited about too. So, a couple things coming up, my friends. So, let's start off with some weekly recap jazz. You guys know the drill. So, per usual, every Tuesday following the live show, Music Mondays drops the full show on our Music Mondays Patreon for early access. If you want to go download it, you want to go record it, you want to go clip it for promo, you want to have access to the high quality download, that is available on our Patreon every single Tuesday following the live show. So definitely check that tonight and tomorrow for tonight's show. And then, per usual, Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are still available right now. We have a limited supply. We still have smalls, mediums, and larges. Definitely let us know if you're interested. $20 including shipping, so just flat 20. You ship in the United States only, so definitely let us know if that's something you're interested in, and send us a message or a DM. So that's Tuesday. Heading into Wednesday, obviously SoundCloud Sunday submissions open every single Wednesday. So you guys know that. Make sure you follow us on socials to stay up to date. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You guys know the drill. Let's see. So, following that, as well on Tuesday, we do some Music Mondays audio podcast promo as well. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Heading into Thursday. Thursday is actually really stacked. So per usual, we drop a brand new YouTube video every single Thursday. And last week we spoke about a really interesting topic, which I actually thought was very thought-provoking. So last week we had a topic kind of discussing should music festivals only promote local artists, and that was quite the topic, to be honest with you. So huge shout out to the homie Black Cash for bringing that up. We actually have a ton of questions from Black Cash that we're going to be hitting up over the course of the next couple of weeks or so. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. But the should music festivals only promote local artists video is available right now on our YouTube. If you'd like to go check out that discussion segment, I broke that down as best as I could. So go show that some love. So continuing on Thursday, episode 216 of the Music Mondays podcast drops on all audio platforms every single Thursday. So per usual, you missed the live show on Monday, you can look for the audio version every single Thursday. So episode 216 is available right now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good jazz. So definitely go check that out and go show those artists some love. So heading into Friday, we actually dropped a spring 2025 preview article that was written by me. Just a quick write-up on what's to come in the spring roadmap for Music Mondays. So definitely go check that out. Go shout out some love. We've been dropping some heaters in 2025. We actually have another one in the chamber ready to go. You'll see a new J article coming through this week. So definitely be prepared for that. That'll be dropping, I want to say like Wednesday or maybe even Thursday. So definitely be prepared for that. But the 2025 spring preview is available on our YouTube channel right now. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. That was Friday. Heading into Saturday, episode 216 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on our YouTube channel. So for those of you that prefer to watch the show back on YouTube, definitely go check that out. Go show that some love, and huge shout out to everybody that submitted, tuned in, and showed love. Episode 216. And of course, you can actually stream all of our past podcast episodes on our YouTube channel and Spotify. The whole complete archive is available over there on YouTube and Spotify. So definitely go check that out. Go show us some love. So that was Saturday, heading into Sunday. SoundCloud Sunday Volume 178 is available right now on our SoundCloud. That was curated by me. We actually had a shit ton of submissions this week, so huge shout out to everybody that's submitting to SoundCloud Sunday. But Volume 178 is available right now. Art by the homie 63, and again curated by me. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. We're really approaching that 200 mark for SoundCloud Sunday, man, which is gonna be crazy. I'm very excited for that. And of course, yesterday, Sunday, we also dropped our official 2025 Music Money's trailer on our YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. That's available on socials as well. And of course, accompanied by a whole bunch of new graphics. So we have new stream graphics. We have new social media graphics. You'll be seeing a lot of that over the course of the next week or so. We actually fully updated the website. So you'll see an announcement about that go out this week as well. Definitely go check out the trailer and go check out the site, because a whole bunch of new goodies are dropping throughout the week. And that takes us to today, Monday, March 17th, 2025, episode 217 of the Music Mondays podcast. We're live, we're here, we're chilling. That was your weekly recap, my friends. We got Ghost in chat. Welcome on in, Ghost. I hope you're well. What's cracking? How we doing on this fine Monday? So let's see here. So weekly recap, Jazz, is good. Outside of that, we're going to talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. So finally, now that we have all of our social media graphics set and everything's good to go on that front, now we can finally launch our new Patreon update. Because again, like I said, I thought that this was kind of the better order to do things when it comes down to everything that we're going to be launching. So now that we have all of our graphics set and got a little 2025 refresh, now it's time to update our Patreon and go add plenty of goodies and a whole bunch of good stuff over there for our current Patreons. So definitely go check that out. Go shout some love. That'll be the first thing that we do to cap off March. And then heading into April, we're going to have one more Music Mondays merch collage announcements. So that'll be pretty cool. And then that'll kind of be the last you hear about merch for quite a while until we have another drop. So definitely be prepared for that. And then following April, we're obviously going to be considering a new summer event. What that is, I don't know yet. We're still debating and tossing around ideas, whether that be Cyberfest 3 or, like we said a couple weeks ago, a new Music Mondays album. There's a couple of things that I kind of want to get done. And then, of course, we have a couple of new things coming, right? Obviously, we've been bouncing around the idea of a Spotify playlist for quite some time. And just a couple of secret drops that we really wanted to give the community this year. So heading into the summer, that's when all the new stuff is going to arrive. And outside of that, I think that's pretty much everything major over the course of the next couple of weeks. But again, make sure you guys tune into the show and follow us on socials to stay up to date with anything that does happen over here at Music Mondays. That's pretty much everything you need to know, like I said, over the course of the next couple of weeks. But outside of that, we did recap, we did what's coming. Let's talk about recruiting. So you'll definitely see a new recruiting flyer drop on our socials relatively soon. Again, we're looking for all roles. So if you're a writer, journalist, designer, curator, you want to do short form content, you want to do long form content for YouTube, you want to do anything like that, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. I can explain the roles further to you. I can tell you pretty much all the details about the Music Money staff team and things like that. So again, if you're interested in any of those roles, definitely let us know. And like I said, send us a message, send us a DM, and we'll definitely have that conversation with you. Like I said, a new flyer will be dropping as well. So that'll be really, really solid. I'm excited for that. So outside of recruiting, we definitely want to keep hunting for exclusives. So we are on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusives. If you have an unreleased SoundCloud track that you'd like to have hosted and promoted for free across all of our social media and our SoundCloud, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM. We'll be happy to again have that conversation with you. But we're only interested in unreleased material. So again, we're only interested in the SoundCloud version of the track. If you want to go and put it on distro, you want to go do a music video for it, that's fine too. But again, we're only interested in the SoundCloud version. Again, just to show our SoundCloud supporters some love, and of course, show the artists some love as well in a different way. So again, SoundCloud exclusives, that's on the table. Same goes for YouTube as well. We're definitely on the hunt for YouTube exclusives. If you'd like to have a music video, a visual, an AMV, even just audio hosted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. We're only interested in unreleased material, but again, if you'd like to have something like that hosted and promoted for free across all our social media and our YouTube channel of almost 300 subscribers, definitely let us know. So, outside of that, I think that's pretty much it. We cruised through content today, which was awesome. So, weekly recaps done, what's coming is done, recruiting, exclusives. What else we got to talk about? Oh yeah, so today's discussion segment, we're gonna do some quick community feedback. So community feedback number 18 went pretty well. That was definitely a big W for us. We have a stack full of questions that we're gonna go through over the next couple of shows. But again, since it is a new month, I definitely want to do another community feedback. So community feedback number 19, for those of you that don't know, community feedback is where Music Mondays and Music Mondays and myself really kind of give you guys the opportunity to pitch what you'd like to see here on the show. So again, if you like more tips and tricks, if you want to see us talk about certain topics, if you'd like to see us kind of bring certain guests on, you want to see some improvements for the platform, definitely let us know. Because again, like we said, we have a pretty solid roadmap. We have a lot of topics to go through here on the show, but we always want to give the community a voice, right? Just to see what they think and really get you guys' opinion on certain things or things you'd like to see, right? I mean, it could be something simple as like a tutorial or more tips and tricks. Because I mean, we've spoke about distribution, we spoke about playlists, we spoke about how to drop. Should you be dropping like this? Should you be dropping like that? So we've done a lot of tips and tricks videos. And of course, we've definitely done a lot more in-depth topics as well. So if that's something that interests you, definitely let us know what you'd like to see here on the show. And not only on the show, but Music Mondays in general, right? You want to see somebody interviewed. You want to see a certain playlist. You want to see something improved. Definitely speak your mind and let us know for sure. But again, that's community feedback number 19. So again, send us a tweet, send us a DM, send us a comment. Anywhere is fine. And just let us know what you'd like to see here on the show and Music Mondays in general in the future. And like I said, of course, this will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe, like the video, all that good jazz, because we do upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in this video and the channel some love. Let's get it. Need beat battles. I haven't thought about beat battles in years. I'd be down though. I think we had one of those. We had, we didn't have a beat battle, but we had a competition in like 2022 or like 2023 where we had a producer put up like a drum kit, and then we had a bunch of prods make a bunch of beats, and then the artists kind of sift through the beats and made tracks, and then we had the community vote on the tracks to figure out which one everybody liked best. But beat battles in general, I think that'd be sick too, though. You know what I mean? Because we do have a pretty deep producer community. So we'd have to get another producer on the Music Money staff, probably 60 or somebody else who also produces, to kind of help out with that and give some insight. Because I'd be down too, you know what I mean? So, and then putting up like a prize or something would be sick. Even just like a gift card or a gift card and like a shout out or something like that. I feel like a prize would be pretty cool too. But I think something like that would be really sick. Yeah, let me note that down actually. Let me definitely note that down. That's not a bad idea. You guys know the drill and you know what time it is. Let's up into some reactions and reviews. Let's check out our submissions for the night. Actually, I haven't even taken a look at them tonight actually, so let's go see what we got, chat. All right. Go switch over to Twitter. Let's pull this up. Oh, I didn't even have Twitter open yet. I'm a unprepared degenerate. But yeah, I haven't even taken a look at the submissions tonight, so let's go see what we got here. I am down. I know we're pretty stacked as well. All right, let's see here. Switching over to Twitter, let's get into it. So, you guys know the drill. Per usual, submissions are always in the same format, and they'll always read. Artists and creative submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on March 17th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/ZomPlays, which is here now, obviously. So, like I said, the tweets are always in the same format. The only thing that does change is the date, so make sure you're submitting for a show that doesn't, or that hasn't happened yet as well. And outside of that, you should be good to go. And of course, if you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So per usual, like I say every single week, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show. Everything from obviously music, vocals, instrumentals, music videos, vlogs, artwork, fashion, merch, photography, videography, literally everything. So if you're an underground independent creative and you like to have some of your work spotlighted here on the show, definitely drop your links and portfolios below. 100%. And of course, we do have a 4-hour show limit just to keep the show a little bit more palatable and not as long for people to watch back. And of course, we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch, so it does take a little bit of pressure off the team and allows us to actually have a good show every single week, right? So we don't want to go over like that 4-hour mark because some of those shows can definitely get pretty long for sure. But at least something like 3-4 hours is easy to like throw on in the background and just let it play when you're doing housework or you're falling asleep or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But outside of that, submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter before you do submit. Not only does that help grow our platform and spread our message, but that pays respect to everybody else that does wait for their work to be reacted to every single week. So again, kind of a win-win because you also gain access to a wonderful creative community that are extremely friendly and extremely talented. So like I said, kind of a win-win. But outside of that, Patreon subscriber submissions are played first every single week here on the show. So if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, you gain access to a whole bunch of goodies, including the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which allows you to have your submissions played first every single week here on the show, and of course guarantees them to be played here on the show, because sometimes we might not get it to everybody's submissions, because some weeks we have upwards of 30-40 submissions, right? So we definitely can't cram all those into one show. So this is a surefire way that if you're interested in it, it definitely guarantees your submissions to be played. And of course, you'll be played at the height of the show, right? At the height of the viewership. And then when people go and watch the show back, you'll be one of the first submissions that people do see. So again, kind of a win-win. Definitely go check out the Music Mondays Patreon and go show all of our Patreons some motherfucking love. Outside of that, the only thing that I do got to mention is that submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts. So again, we like to get a little bit of a head count and see what the show's looking like before it does start. And we are a live show, so we don't like any submissions kind of coming through late and messing up the order. And people are waiting for their spot, and they're waiting for their submissions. And if you kind of sneak in, it messes up the order and things like that. So again, you have like roughly like 6.5 days anyway to get your submissions in. So obviously, plenty of time. But a good rule of thumb is that if the show is live, submissions are closed, and then you'll be able to submit for the following week's show. For example, like tomorrow, submissions will be open for episode 218. So again, make sure you follow us on socials and stay up to date with all that good jazz. So, outside of that, that's pretty much everything. We do have a how to submit to the Music Mondays podcast guide on our YouTube channel and on our website right now. I updated that for 2025, where I kind of broke down the lore of the Music Mondays podcast, why we take submissions on Twitter and things like that. So if you're interested in a little bit more detail, definitely go check that out. All right. So, let's see how many Patrons we do have tonight. Jordan's pretty high up. Jordan would have been number 3 anyway. Let's go. But Jordan will be first. And then got Jordan. We got TDG. I believe. All right. Yeah, I knew I saw Laveries. All right. So Jordan, TDG, then Laveries, and then we'll dive into the rest of the community's submissions. Okay. I'm down. So we're kicking off the show tonight with Jordan. Jordan's always a great way to start off the show, but Jordan, a multi-genre talented artist, producer, engineer, all of the above, again, has had a stellar 2025, only 3 months in, they've been killing it. They submitted a track titled That Feeling with the homie Rapman Gavin. The homie Blank Thought actually speaks very highly of Rapman Gavin, and we've reacted to Rapman Gavin like once or twice here on the show, but that was definitely like late 2023, early 2024-ish, you know what I mean? So it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. But I'm excited to see this. So let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got. All right. So give it a quick pause. Cover art's crazy, actually. Hold on. Let's pause that music. I actually just realized I was playing. This has got to be some Michael art, right? it's got to be for sure. It definitely looks like some Michael art, 100%. All right, so you got That Feeling with the homie Rapman Gavin. This will be very interesting. This is a very interesting collab, to be honest with you. Shit. All right, let's get it. Jordan, Rapman Gavin, That Feeling. Let's go.
Spinning the night, little like the light. Visibly miserable types collide. Silly, he really still writing rhymes. But in the end, he might be right. That'd be tight, that'd be tight, that'd be tight. Yo, that would be tight. I've been living like dead weight. I know that I need my head straight. Every dream that I seen in the pants place. How the world looks when my lens breaks. Let the days go. Could a man states getting caught up in more than a headspace. I accept fate. I confess, wait, let me stay. I accept grace. Apple eating, banish wisdom. Sitting the rhythm and grabbing my hook. I'm like fisherman, skin him and stab him. This rapper curriculum. I've been an addict, I get it. I vanished, I got included, man. This art really nothing in front of true fam. Youth in the mud, I'm steady moving, man. You know it's for love. You know I love the gang, the poetry holding me, stolen everything. I know it's just molding me, showing sentiment. Miss all the people who left me heavy spent. I feel it, it feels so menacing, and I don't know why. I don't know why, I don't know why, I don't know why. I've been alone in my head for a minute. I got concerned when I saw you weren't in it. I kept a hold of your mind and my mental. I try not losing that feeling, defend it. Yeah. I try not losing that feeling, defend it. Spinning the night, little like the light. Visibly miserable types collide. Silly, he really still writing rhymes. But in the end, he might be right. Yeah, that'd be tight, that'd be tight. Yeah, that'd be tight. But I've been alone in my head for a minute. I got concerned when I saw you weren't in it. I kept a hold of your mind and my mental. I try not losing that feeling, defend it. Yo, I try not losing that feeling, defend it. I try not losing that feeling.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd expect nothing less, man. Beat battles would be sick, I agree. Deluxe is gonna be soon, let's go. Can't wait for that. Yeah, man, Jordan really killed this, Jesus. I kind of expected it, though. A Florifid sick collab, I agree. Very sick collab. Very sick collab. Very much hit that, like, lo-fi, like, almost classic boom bap feel that Rapman Gavin really, like, thrives in. You know, Gavin's one of those artists that's, like, a very raw hip-hop artist, you know? Insane flows, insane writing, like, very organic, you know? So I knew Jordan would deliver on the instrumental. That's such a cool collab, though. I mean, you know, it's so awesome to see Jordan, like, branch out into, like, other sections of the underground and you know, kind of start linking up with some of these other artists, you know, because this is definitely a name that we've seen before here on the show. So I knew that this was going to be like a no-brainer, you know, for sure. But yeah, let's break it down, man. Let's talk about it. We're talking about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of that feeling. So instrumental. I mean, what's there to say about it? Really, I mean, so fucking clean. It's really like what I expected though, because like for somebody like Gavin, um, I'm not too familiar on their like beat selection, right? Because we've only reacted to them a few times, but they always seem to gravitate towards this style. So I knew, again, like I said, Jordan would deliver on that for sure. I knew he would. But the mix is fantastic. I mean, very theatrical, almost movie-like mix. You know, again, to be expected. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. I thought vocals were perfect on it. Um, Not too loud, but not too low. I mean, really no gripes on this. I mean, not really shocked, but something you always want to point out for anybody new here, right? But yeah, this one definitely hit the nail on the head, especially for a collaboration like this. You know what I mean? So, instrumental mix, literally flawless. Instrumental shining star. You know, I feel like the structure is pretty crazy on this. I won't lie to you. I feel like the structure like really just let Gavin thrive on this. You know, I feel like the way that Jordan structured this out was like really perfect. Um, but I mean the melody is great too. Drums are very like clean and like very natural. Um, hmm. You know, let's go structure. Let's definitely go structure. Just because the instrumental is a journey in itself. So I feel like the structure just kind of went above and beyond. You know, structure is really good. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. It was quite the journey. So yeah, let's go structure. So instrumental solid. Um, Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, I mean, perfect. You know, the cool thing about Gavin here is they always go for that like clean, raw, you know, regular hip hop approach, right? But there is like a little bit of processing on it as well, which I always thought was super sick. You know, it kind of gives that like almost voicemail, um, almost staticky like vinyl kind of feel to it, and it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit, but I think it separates Gavin's vocals. You know what I mean? And it really makes for a clean track. I definitely think it shines here though. You know what I mean? It definitely shines here. So vocal mix, awesome. Definitely right where it needs to be. Vocal shining star. Um, I mean, I feel like the obvious answer, right, would be flow and cadence and delivery. But you know, writing was definitely up there. I feel like Gavin like never holds back on any of their verses. You know what I mean? Like anytime they're on a feature or like even like some of their singles, they don't hold back. They definitely don't hold back. Um, so you could argue writing there, but let's go flow and cadence and delivery, just because it really shined throughout the whole track and it really made for like a very enjoyable listen, for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Vocal solid, flow, cadence, delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Fantastic. You know, especially for like a collab like this. Sometimes these like minimalist, like simple style covers are always the play. You know, I've been seeing a lot of these recently, and I've always been a fan of them personally. You know what I mean? Because they're not too minimal, but it's very eye catching in that aspect, especially for like a one off single or even like an album preview or anything like that. I feel like shit like that is super super cool. So for me, aesthetics definitely on point, no question. Um, Overall theme, there is quite a talk of feelings in this track, though. I will say that there is a lot of talk of certain feelings and life in general, right? People leaving you, feeling um feeling subpar. Like I feel like Gavin definitely touched on a few topics here, but I wouldn't dig too deep for a theme on this one. This is definitely one where you really have to appreciate the artistry of it. You know, the writing, the lyricism, the bars, the punchlines, and especially the flows and cadences. But you could definitely dig out a subject of this, but definitely one where you just gotta appreciate Gavin's skill on this one for sure. But what a collab, man! What a collab! I would definitely love to see more, 100%. So, well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to Jordan. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Jordan on SoundCloud. They're only 5 followers away from 90. And of course, make sure you go follow Jordan on Twitter. They are 1 follower away from 400 again. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching literally 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Get it. Alrighty, my friends. That was a great way to start the show, if I do say so myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. So let's see here. All right. Up next we have the homie TDG. Now TDG's been rolling out the singles like crazy in 2025. They've been doing really well. But TDG, a talented hip hop artist, has submitted "Author of War." Proud him before my me. Life's a war I'm living to see. That's definitely a bar. That's definitely a bar for sure. 6 hours ago, so super super new. I like the cover a lot too. Simple but effective. My tales of mental war presented to you, proud and performed and mixed by me. Shit, I'm down. Let's get into it. TDG, Author of War. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I'm an author of war. I'm an author of war. My heart is beating out so sore and torn. Yeah. I'm an author of war, my heart is beating out so sore and torn. Stop repeating 1, 2, 3, 4. Wanna run to see more? Buck knocking, I'ma open the door, saying drop to the floor. If I can't get my mind back, I don't wanna breathe no more. I'm an author of war, heart is beating out so sore and torn. Stop repeating 1, 2, 3, 4. Wanna run to see more? Buck knocking, I'ma open
I see where doom lies, will there be a blue sky, new time, and a view high? If I believe that it's skewed lines, can't say, but it's bad, I'm at a new high. Excuses running out of lines, I need new lies. He wouldn't wanna know the true time. I should already be asleep, but I'm not. I can't sleep, conscientiously I dream. I can't make a sound, but constantly I scream. Why does this happen to me? What do they want from me? When did the doctor find a meaning? Meeting with demons, trying to make an agreement. What am I seeing? You wouldn't believe it. Lost what belief is. I think my eyes are bleeding. Mind is leaking. Looked at the light too long. Trying to get the answers to come along. So don't know if I'm right or wrong. Going to avenge what I can't amend. Get revenge. Tic-tac, sit 'em back. I can't go out like that. What are the haps? I'ma make the devil see black. Yeah, I leave a footprint. Time too precious to miss. Mash attention I move with. I never wanna do this. I ignore the to-do list. Box is empty. Conscience left me often on empty. My head feeling heavy. My steps not too steady. Catching a breath, but soon be ready. Looking at the dead me and saying, oh fuck, how did that let me? It exhausting, I'm exhausted. It exhausting, I'm exhausted. In and out, I'm nodding. Often wanting out the coffin. Cleaning up, I'm rotting. Leaving early ain't an option. I got
Shit.
work to do. Follow through, be sure to do. Life is what you worth to you. Right now, guard up behind the curtain view. Watching time purpose to avoid what to do. My response overdue. Death, I'm too close to you. Death, I'm too close to you. Death, I'm too close to you. Life, I wish I only knew the weight of a perfect skew. Yeah. I'm an author, boy, my heart is beating not so sore and torn. Stuck repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I run, do see more fuck knocking. I'm gonna open the door, saying drop to the floor. If I can't get my money back, I don't wanna break no more. Life gave me due time to the grave. Life sentence, I'ma do mine until I see where doom lies. Will there be a blue sky, new time, and a view high?
What an outro. Okay, something about this I really enjoyed is the flow and cadence. Like, it's almost like such an improvement from TDG. I don't know, like something about them just changed like over the last like couple weeks. Like I feel like the flow and cadence on this is like a massive improvement, to be honest with you. Um and like they're almost like more loose, so to speak, right? And like more comfortable, you know? Especially with topics like these or even just other topics in general. I mean, certain artists are just comfortable with rapping and recording certain things. You know what I mean? So, man, all right. This is one we definitely gonna talk about and break down. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of Author of War. Let's talk instrumental. Produced by TDG, self-produced. They always do such a good job with their self-production. You know what I mean? Like they always do such a good job, and it's one of those things where it's like, you know, if anything, TDG really knows what they want as an artist. You know, so that's what's really sick about this. But instrumental mix solid though. Melodies are good, sound selection is good, nothing super clashy to overbearing. Vocals sit nice, structure's solid. I don't have any gripes with the mix, to be honest with you. Especially that lead piano. I feel like the piano really took center stage there, and I thought that was solid. So instrumental mix definitely up there. Instrumental shining star. I kind of do like the structure for the beat switch up though. Beat switch up was definitely solid. We could kind of say drums too. Let's go structure on this one again. I like structure a lot on this, especially the beat switch up. Like I just wasn't expecting it. It felt way loose and fun with it. Yeah, no, I agree. Totally felt like very like comfortable, so to speak. You know. So, instrumental solid. Definitely the structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Definitely right where it needs to be, especially with like TDG like self-engineering now. I feel like they're really starting to like get into that nice like middle ground sweet spot as to where, you know, no matter the instrumental or the style, they definitely know what to do with their vocals. You know what I mean? So it's not too loud, not too low. Not too much crazy processing, but definitely enough as to where It sounds pretty crisp. And again, drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice. So nothing that would like ultimately change on this one at all. I'm definitely a fan of the vocal mix 100%. Vocal Shining Star though, I mean, flow and cadence and the delivery just sticks out instantly to me. You know what I mean? Like really, really sticks out instantly. So let's go flow and cadence and delivery. But I do like the writing a lot. I definitely like the writing a lot. Instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, flow, cadence, delivery. Let's talk theme. Smooth like butter. I'm really trying to work on the flow. Yeah, it's great. It's great. You know what I mean? It's so noticeable. And welcome on in, my friend. I hope you're well. But yeah, it's totally like butter. Like an instant improvement for sure. Absolutely. But like I said, instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Off rip, I like the cover a lot. You know what I mean? Especially something like this, where it's got like the felt tip pen. It's like the old timey, like, you know, ink pen and shit like that. And then just like author war at the bottom. Simple but effective. And especially for like a single like this, you don't want to go too crazy on art, right? So, I feel like it gets the job done for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme. I mean, in short, I feel like it's described pretty well by TDG here. The tales of mental war presented to you. You know, and TDG speaking throughout the song about, you know, it's not more so about losing the mental war. It's more so about how much they're going to win the mental war. And it doesn't really matter what gets put in front of me, but it's also shitty. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everybody, you know, whether you're, you know, old, young, no matter what, like if you're a human being, like everybody kind of goes through this era at least once in your life, or, you know, multiple times, unfortunately. But, you know, putting it in this light and kind of writing about it and describing how it feels and putting it on paper and actually recording it, again, is a really healthy way to deal with it. You know, like music is therapy sometimes for the majority of artists. And writing about these topics can be really healthy. You know, we see a ton of artists write about all sorts of very, very important topics, you know, but they're also able to package it and wrap it well, you know, when it comes down to like how they want to present it to you, you know, because it's still music at the end of the day. So, yeah, I feel like TDG did a really good job kind of touching on not only like their mental health, but how they're going to deal with their mental health. You know what I mean? Not just like, you know, sitting in it, you know, which is great. So TDG is definitely on the right path when it comes down to that too. So well done, my friend. Well done. Definitely a massive improvement. Huge shout out to TDG. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They're only 2 followers away from 1K. And of course, make sure you go follow TDG on Twitter. They're only 5 followers away from 160. Make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. W submissions already, man. All right, so 2 Patrons down. And last but certainly not least, our last patron of the night, Homie Laveries. So, coming hot off of Recession Rap, they've been going crazy with not only their last project, but they've been going crazy with Ear Candy, they've been going crazy with Unreleased, and now they're working on the deluxe version. I'm very excited to see what Laveries has for us. So, again, Laveries, a talented hip-hop artist, has submitted New Tats, Old Beat, Track 1, 2025. Let's see what we got here. Got a little new Unreleased, man. I'm down, because the last week's Unreleased was fucking gas, so I'm excited. 3 hours ago, first track I recorded this year. The beat is way different on the deluxe. Recession Proof 329. Well, let's go. So there we go. 329. I'm down. All right. So Laveries, Unreleased, New Tats, exclusive Music Mondays premiere. Let's go.
Be so fucking crazy that it must be ghost produced.
Deluxe will be the end of the month. Let's get it.
Yeah, I want some new tests, but I'm too broke. Thinking about what I'm gonna write on my tombstone. Always searching, trying to find out what I don't know. Know it's meant in a way that I can let it go. Getting cold, really hoping that it would snow, but there's only frozen water on my window. It's getting cold, really hoping that it would snow, but there's only frozen water on my window. Yeah, I done put my heart in this, put my all in this, in a way that I can't quit. Yeah, I just gotta stay on my grind, keep my head up high. In time, it'll all make sense. Yeah, I don't really care what a bitch say. Take a big check and throw it in a bitch face. Yeah, I don't really care what a bitch say. Can't chat with you if you ain't getting paid. Yeah, I done put my heart in this, put my all in this. Ain't no way that I can't quit. Yeah, I just gotta stay on my grind, keep my head up high. In time it'll all make sense. Yeah, I don't really care what a bitch say. Take a big check and throw it in a bitch face. Yeah, I don't really care what a bitch say. Can't chat with you if you ain't getting paid. Yeah, I'm trying to get paid, that's my main focus. And I'm tucking it away, I ain't trying to blow it.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm my real life, yeah, don't post it. Just listen to my words, all I spit is true shit. I don't spit bullshit, that's what they bout. I make crowds get turned, we gon' rock out. I'ma do a few shows and get hot now. Rolling loud, trying to book me, they done found out. On the road all summer doing shows. Still touring when the weather gets cold. Okay, you don't know how many albums I sold. Okay, Lil was calling, but they can't get a hold of me. Made big talk, but the numbers ain't big enough. I don't need your money now, I ain't in a rush. I done told you got a few albums in the tuck. Might drop, they can't get enough. I done drop recession rap, finna drop recession proof. Then do promo, all the way to album 2. When we drop an album 2, that shit gon' take us to the moon. Then they all gon' scream my name like I'm a god, but I'm not Zeus, yeah. Yeah, I done put my heart in this, put my all in this. In a way that I can't quit, yeah. I just gotta stay on my grind, keep my head up high. In time it'll all make sense, yeah. I don't really care what a bitch say. Can't chat with you if you ain't getting paid, yeah. I don't really care what a bitch say. Take a big check and throw it in a bitch face. Yeah, I done put my heart in this, put my all in this. In a way that I can't quit, yeah. I just gotta stay on my grind, keep my head up high. In time it'll all make sense, yeah. I don't really care what a bitch say. Take a big check and throw it in a bitch face. Yeah, I don't really care what a bitch say. Can't chat with you if you ain't getting paid.
Wow. Like, what is tonight, like the night of like new flows? Like what in like a week? I feel like everybody just kind of like came out of the woodwork and just started to like fucking improve their flows like overnight. I mean, I guess that is how it happens, but fuck me, especially for this one, because this is like recorded at the start of 2025, so it's like, what the fuck? Like, everybody's flow just suddenly started getting insane. Holy shit. B shit got corrupted. Yeah. That sucks. That's definitely nice. Beat is way better now though. Yeah, for sure. Lil B, that's a great comparison actually. If yeah, man, what the fuck? Holy shit. Literally, it's like everybody's flows just kind of like evolved like a fucking Pokemon overnight. I'm impressed. Let's go, man. Okay. Obviously unreleased, so not like a near perfect or anything like that. And much like they said, the beat is different now, so I'm sure we'll be reacting to the new version as well. He's so much better flow-wise. Yeah, I agree. I was like, holy shit. Especially some of the verses are like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's on some big dog timing this year. I love it. I really love it. That's awesome. Everybody's going to work, man. Everybody's going to the fucking back to the lab and just improving shit. That's awesome. Shit. So we're gonna talk about three things. You guys know the drill. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of this track. So, instrumental. Obviously, not gonna go too hard on the instrumental because it's gonna be a completely different instrumental when we react to this on the final, right? So, but for where it's at right now, pretty solid, to be honest with you. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. I definitely like the sound selection on it. Melody definitely sticks out. Laveri sounds really great on it. Has this like ominous, almost eerie like feel, you know. So for where it's at mix wise, I definitely like it. Nothing super crazy to point out. So instrumental mix solid, definitely solid for where it's at. Instrumental Shining Star. I do like the drums a lot. I definitely like the drums a lot. But the melody again is just front and center. I definitely like the melody too. Melody has a like a lot of bite and like attitude to it. Let's probably go melody, but drums are a close second for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, obviously unreleased and not like super final, right? So again, not gonna go too hard on the mix, but for where it's at, it's definitely like a solid demo. You know what I mean? It's not like super raw. So I definitely like it for where it's at, especially for an unreleased little teaser, you know. So a vocal mix, solid for where it's at, especially for unreleased, right? Don't want to go too hard on it. Vocal Shining Star though, I mean, shit. It's got to be flow and cadence and delivery, right? Like, it's got to be. It's got to be. I mean, writing's up there too. You know, I feel like the writing is definitely improved as well, especially on, you know, tracks like these. Like, it's almost like the year turned, right? And everybody just got insane. Like, everybody just went to the lab and just started fucking cooking like a madman. Yeah, let's go flow and cadence and delivery. I mean, it's such a great improvement and like such a great step in the right direction. You know what I mean? So flow and cadence and delivery for sure. Let's talk theme. So obviously unreleased, so no official cover art or anything like that yet. So default to the black aesthetic, not a big deal. So new tats. Again, could still be like a working title or anything like that, but this is one of those tracks where I feel like this is a good like cover track. You know, if somebody were to approach you on the street and they were like, "Oh, you make music? Show me some shit." This would be one of those songs to show them for sure. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't dive like super deep into a theme like this, but it has all the Laverius perks that you'd want, but almost more modernized and more current, right? And you kind of see the path that Laverius is heading on. So well done, my friend. Well done. This is definitely one I'm excited for, 100%. So huge shout out to Laverius. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go follow Laverius Leaks on SoundCloud for more unreleased tracks. And of course, make sure you go follow Laverius on Twitter. They are only 4 followers away from 120, so make sure you go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We are approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all that good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. Sounds like a track off Godfather by Lil B, like the first thing I thought of. Yeah, that's a really solid compliment, you know what I mean? Like, Lil B was that man was on a run. That man was on a run for sure. So yeah, that concludes all of our Music Mondays Patreons, man. Huge shout out to everybody over there on Patreon. Huge shout out to Ruker, Mark, Ryuki, Laverius, TDG, Jordan, and anybody else who's subbed in the past, anybody else who's even following Patreon. You guys are amazing. If you want more information on the Music Mondays Patreon, patreon.com/music_Mondays. Go show that some love. So let's get back into it. I want to start from top to bottom, get right down to the community submissions. So we're back with the homie Lucha Libro. Now, a very, very interesting experimental alternative artist has submitted another Spotify link. I'm down. Let's see what we got here. Pop this open a new tab. Oh, MK Ultra. Yeah, this is the one that we already reacted to. We reacted to MK Ultra in, I believe it was 215? 215 or something like that, because I remember reacting to the title. Okay, well, regardless, huge shout out to Lucha Libro. Make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They're only 8 followers away from 150. Make sure you go show them some love, and make sure you submit tomorrow with a track that we have yet to react to here on the Music Mondays podcast. So, up next, we got the homie Pez. Now, Pez has been on a run with their recent project release. A very, very talented multi-genre producer has submitted another Spotify link. I'm down. Pop open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. It gave you garbage or fire, no in between. Yeah, now literally, you're so right about that. Like it was either fucking heat or it was literally just like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, no, you're so right about that. You're so right about that. So yeah, like I said, the homie Pez has been on quite the run with their recent project, and actually, wow, okay, so this is a single. Hold on, this is a single. We are kind of diving into a new track. Okay. So this is not off Protect the Peasants V1.5. Ah. Damn. All right. Shit, I'm down. I'm very down. All right, let's get into it. Pez Too Mean. Let's go. Yeah.
One.
The bonus song from the EP. Let's go.
Everybody stay on my best side, ayy. Staring at the screen like a Best Buy, ayy. Hitting me not Lil Tay. Unemployed motherfuckers at my age, trying to get by some little ass wage. Shutty motherfuckers all to get on my face. I stepped in this bitch with a game.
Holy shit.
I'm dapping up, I do not shake hands. I see through you bitches like Ray-Bans. I'm treating y'all like y'all some fake fans. I'm treating you bitches like NPCs. I walk in this game with no enemy. Then I put thousands all up on my MP3. Now I got hoes on the crowd singing melodies. I'm dropping 40 like I'm Jalen Hurts. I'm with Benny Sin and we put in that work. You high off a blunt, I'm high off a perk. If you talking on me, that boy getting murked. Hurt. I put in bullets through shirts. Curse. I need that boy with a curse. Damn. That's how I do it. That's how we do it. Hey man, it's the big 2K25, man. You already know how we're doing it. I'm live with Vinny sitting room live in the center, third floor of this bitch. You already know
Let's go.
how it is, man. We out here every day, grinding, producing, recording, all for you SoundCloud rappers who don't know how to do shit. I'ma teach you how to do the shit, you hear? Here's how we're gonna do it. Look, I walk in at 329 and grabbing that U87. I'm treating the microphone like it's a chopper. I'm sending you rappers to heaven. I'm dropping these albums, I'm dropping these singles, I'm dropping on all of you peasants. I'm putting these balls in your head like an Indian, cutting you off like a Severus. I'm leaving them red like I hit the record button. I'm talking my shit like I'm Joe Budden. In my comments, you don't know nothing. It's the DMs got my phone buzzing. I'm just trying to get my flows off. Lukewarm like I'm on hall. And it's too free like there's no cost. I just hit a 10 and then I doze off. Yo, go. Pull up in that motherfucking G-Wagon. I just
Holy
stepped
fuck.
up in this function with my jeans sagging. You was talking on my name, no that shit's tragic. Ever since a little jit, no I've been at it. And I've been adding. I've been way too fly, feeling like Aladdin. He ain't talking on my bros, he don't want no static. Sending promo to my DMs, I know bros a has-been. Hey, bitch, put him in a past tense. Sit your $5 ass down with your AdSense. Kicking shit like I was Messi and I hit a hat trick. Bro was living under rocks like his name is Patrick. She hitting backflips on me like gymnastics. I got killer instincts and killer tactics. When I walk up in this bitch, know I'm pistol packing. She make all my bands disappear like she doing magic. Call me magic. Hey, that shit way too easy. Yeah.
Wow. That was so enjoyable. That was quite the journey there, man. That was crazy. Holy shit. So Pez did mention that they didn't really want to put it on the EP, which is totally respectable. You know, sometimes certain tracks just they don't fit the vision. You know what I mean? Sometimes they just don't fit the vision. Shit's tough. I agree. Definitely tough. It has that great, like, almost experimental yet like darker trap style. You know, it's such a mix of a few things. But man, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're going to talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. Well, what an instrumental this is, man. Like, the instrumental itself could almost be a feature. You know what I mean? The instrumental is insane. But the mix is really great. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Nothing that really stuck out to me that was off-putting. Vocals were nice and clear. Drums cut through nicely. And as much as there was going on in this instrumental, again, I didn't feel like anything was like fighting with each other or anything like that. This is like really how you do some super stacked type of instrumentals. This is how you do it. You know what I mean? Because it still sounds very crisp. You know, so I didn't really notice anything that I would like ultimately change when it comes down to the mix. I thought it was really solid. Crisp, clean, straight to the point. And works well with the vocals, you know, so instrumental mix solid. Instrumental Shining Star. That one's tough, man. Instrumental Shining Star. I mean, melody's up there, right? Drums are crazy. You could definitely argue structure for this one. Man, I kind of want to go structure, but melodies here are just nuts. And then like sample was nuts. Yep, and the bass was crazy. Yeah. So we could go in that direction. Definitely could go in that direction. The drums in general too are just Yeah, let's go drums. Let's go drums. I feel like drums are very memorable here, and definitely brings a lot of the energy, including the bass. So let's go drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix actually fantastic. You know what I mean? Especially with some of these crazier instrumentals that you load up with sounds. Sometimes they can be super weird to mix and get done, and kind of like go in that direction. But vocals worked really well here. You know what I mean? I felt like the mix was clean, clear, straight to the point. Not too much processing, because I mean, obviously this is an artist that works well with that kind of more cleaner, organic sound. But again, it definitely fits the instrumental, and it doesn't like feel like it's fighting or anything like that. Vocals weren't too loud, not too low. Um, Nothing that I would ultimately change on this, to be honest with you. I felt like the vocals were really clean, to be real with you. So vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. I mean, it's got to be the writing, right? I mean, some of the bars in here were crazy. Simple but effective bars, you know what I mean? And like the delivery on them was really solid. I mean, a couple directions you could go with this. Flow and cadence and delivery is definitely up there for me. But I just keep coming back to writing. To be honest with you, I feel like the writing was really crazy. Really, really crazy. Let's go writing for sure. Definitely. Because some of the bars and punchlines and the lyrics were just very memorable. Switch metal solid. Definitely the drums. Vocal solid. Definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Well, let's see here. Is this actually... Oh, so it is slightly different than the version 1.5 cover. So it's a little bit of a continuation here. Definitely in the same style of a little bit more of like a distorted image, but I like the difference of it, because you can kind of tell it's from the same section of music, right? You can kind of tell that's a part of the, what's the word, series, I guess you could call it, right? It's a part of the whole project, but it's separating itself a little bit. You know what I mean? And the distorted effect is becoming a common theme with Pez and the Peasants, right? So I feel like that's a really solid direction to go, because being consistent with your art is not a rule. You don't have to. You could go crazy with the art, but it does look sick when people find their own aesthetics and they kind of continue it on here. You know what I mean? A couple come to mind, right, in the community, but this is one I really like because you can differentiate it, right? So aesthetics on point, overall theme to mean. This is definitely one where I wouldn't dig for a theme at all. This is definitely one where you got to enjoy the writing, the punchlines, the delivery, the real hip hop aspects of it. You definitely got to enjoy that. You know what I mean? I mean, you probably could like dig a theme out, but I wouldn't. It's definitely one we definitely got to respect the artistry and definitely enjoy what they put on here for sure. So, well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to Homie Pez. Make sure you go follow all them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Pez on Twitter. They are only 4 followers away from 270. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Wait till my non-Peasants album where we add a third producer. That shit's so experimental. That's gonna be crazy to react to. I'm so down. Because like it's not like what you think when it's experimental. It's like experimental, like adjacent. You know what I mean? It's not truly erratic, but it's definitely carving like a new lane, which I think is so sick. You know what I mean? So, well done, my friends. Well done. So, continuing on. So we left off with the homie Pez. Up next would be the homie Jordan, but we already reacted to Jordan earlier in the show, so make sure you go check out the start of episode 217, and make sure you go show Jordan some love. All right, so up next, we got the homie Quill, and now we've reacted to them, I think, only once before on the show. I think like 2 or 3 episodes ago. So let's see here. They submitted a track titled "Where I Move." Hello, this is a song on my album with Bated Breath with Ari and Color. I'll write them down. Definitely down. I know the first track that we reacted to from them was really, really crazy. Now, they did mention this is off their recent project with Bated Breath. 9 songs. This is, let's see here. What did they submit? Wow, they submitted the very last track on the project. Wow, I'm down. I'm definitely down. Okay. Hedgelocked, Ari in color. Where you've been. Let's go. I like the sound selection. Damn. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Wow. So I was not expecting an instrumental. Because the last track we reacted from them was actually a vocal track, but I'm actually really pleased with this, and for a couple of reasons, right? Because you know some of the first artists that I listened to when I got to the underground, right? Like even before I started making music, people like Grief and Team Sesh and all of Sesh's producers, right? I mean, you know Drew and Cat Soup and so many other like really talented aesthetic type producers. And that's not to say they don't make other genres, but tracks like this, really remind me of Grief, right? The producer Grief, and I really enjoy these types of instrumentals, especially when you stick them on projects, and especially for this one, like being the last track on an album. This is perfect for an outro. You know what I mean? Perfect for an outro. Um, I've done quite a few myself actually, so I'm probably biased there, but I enjoy them personally. So let's break it down. Let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about two things because obviously no vocals. So we're talking about the instrumental and we're talking about the overall theme of where you've been. So instrumental. I mean, the mix is awesome. You know what I mean? It has a bunch of like nature sounds. You can kind of dissect the ocean. There's a little bit of like pure like woods nature sounds. Melodies are great. Very like ethereal, peaceful kind of track. Something you could easily put on your like sleep playlist or something like that. Or if you wanted like a chill playlist with like no lyrics, this would go right in there. But the mix is great. Again, nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that I ultimately thought was off-putting or anything like that. Um, Instrumental Shining Star. Now, I'm gonna have to say structure. I like the structure a lot. There's a couple of things I do like about it, especially like the outro of the track. But in general, I'm gonna go with structure for sure. Just because it was a story, right? It wasn't just a loop. The instrumental kept progressing, kept introducing new sounds, and one of those ones that takes you on a journey for sure. So definitely the structure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. with Bated Breath. So this is the last track off of this project. Now this looks like one of those like paintings you like draw as a kid, but then you upload it, use it as like an album cover. You know what I mean? Which I still think is sick. But even if it's not, it's one of those like nostalgic, childlike kind of vibes. You know what I mean? So always perfect for an EP or an album. You know, so aesthetic's definitely on point, especially if the project is anything like that instrumental. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme where you've been. It definitely has that like longing, like walking home but nowhere to go kind of feel to it. You know what I mean? But also like longing for another person. You know, because producers obviously that don't do vocals, you know, kind of have to lay their emotions out on the track when it comes to their melodies and their samples and their drums. And you know, you can speak a lot with an instrumental, and this one definitely speaks a lot to me for sure. So well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Hedgelocked and Ari in Color. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They're only 6 follows away from 240. Make sure you go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. Let's get it, baby. I like that submission a lot. That was solid. That was really, really solid. All right. Let's see here, my friends. So, we left off with the homie Hedgelocked. Up next is the homie Offspring Mysterious. Now, Offspring has been on a run in 2025. A lot of their edits have been insane. They've been going crazy with stop motion. But Offspring, a multi-talented producer, artist, designer, engineer, writer, editor, they submitted Rising Ember. So let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's go 720. Go full volume. Full screen. Offspring Mysterious. Rising Ember. Let's go. W faded. Holy shit. What the fuck? No way. The bloopers are always funny. What the fuck? Bro said hell nah. We're at the door. Maintenance man. Oh. Mailman? Wonder what he gave him. What the fuck? Okay, that was creative. That was definitely creative. Oh shit. Wow. Insane, actually. That cover came out crazy, what? Holy shit. Wow, alright. So, this one was very interesting. And for a couple of reasons, actually. Um, the editing was fantastic. Again, Offspring is really like leveling up with just new additions, right? Like the fire, a lot of the stop motion has been improving. You know, a lot of the transitions have been improving. You know, Offspring is really just having fun with it, but also like pushing to new heights, which is awesome to see. Um, but there is one shining star here, and I feel like it's the story and concept. Again, Offspring kind of comes through with the writing and like a lot of like the B rolls and the B sides and like behind the scenes shit like that. Offspring sneaks in there is always super solid. Um, yeah, Shining Star's got to be the story and concept. Like, no question, it's got to be. You know, because these just keep getting better and better, especially even if they're like on like the more simple side or they're like this one where it has like a little bit of everything. You know, some like bloopers, some Obviously editing like, the stop motion and then kind of like the concept in general, you know? Again, I feel like Offspring is doing a really good job fleshing out the story, but also kind of being able to like do everything that they want to do. You know what I mean? While also improving. So Shining Star is definitely a story and concept for sure. So well done, my friends. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Offspring Mysterious. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Offspring Mysterious on YouTube. They're only 7 subs away from 240. Make sure you go show them some love on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Offspring Mysterious on Twitter. They're only 4 followers away from 820. Make sure you go show them some love on the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We are approaching 300 subscribers, so we upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. Alrighty, chat. You guys know the drill. We're about halfway through the show, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we return, we're gonna get right back into the rest of our community submissions. So don't go anywhere and stay tuned for the rest of our show. Make sure you go get up and grab a snack and all that good jazz, by the way, bathroom breaks, smoke breaks, anything like that. Maybe you gotta go walk the dog or something like that. So definitely go and do that. And when we return, like I said, we're gonna dive right back into episode 217 of the Music Mondays podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Music Mondays podcast episode 216. I hope you're well, hope you're chilling. Or no, 217, I'm sorry. 216 was last week. But like I said, I hope you're chilling, hope you're well. We left off with the homie Offspring Mysterious. Let's dive back into the rest of our community submissions. So, up next is the homie Waz, aka Just Waz. Now, Waz hasn't submitted yet in 2025, I don't think. But they had a pretty killer last 2024, to be honest with you. Their last year was crazy. Great album rollout, lots of really, really great music videos. Waz is a very, very talented hip hop artist, but this week they submitted Five Phenomenon by Just Waz. I'll be tuning in the stream. My new tape Fine Art is bumping out on all platforms. Check out my track Five Phenomenon. Okay. Down. I'm down. All right, let's take this over to Spotify. Or no, let's take this over to YouTube. Bang. All right. So let's go 720. Give it a quick pause, Rooney. Obviously, this is the topic channel, so no comments. But let's get into it. Just Waz, Five Phenomenon. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm idle watching these trains move. Corruption, they don't state the truth. Something out the ground at your ankles. Flowers, I could paint those. Right around the states, at the bar alone, sipping on potential. Let's hit the freeze, time was ticking on my Seiko. Lost me in the stars, Galileo. They know what they did to Warren Hayes, so they stay low. Reputation at stake, like your Drizzy gold paint on the wall. Heavy is the head that holds the halo, I can tell you don't know ball. Mask on, Howie Mandel at the mall. Cushion OJ on the aux. You missed 2012, can't lie, these days you soft. Tesla Cybertruck can smell the pain, and they're trying to influence teens, but you 40-something change, I don't even have to hate. Objectively you're lame, I can't listen to anything that you say. Yeah,
so I shouldn't even have to talk about myself. It should be a known fact what I've contributed to the music business.
Used to rock New York and bump Renegade. Everything bagel toasted with butter and a Huber's lemonade. Pen to paper problems on the page. Waiting for my brother days. After school karate lessons over in Valley Stream. Before I saw a porn stream. Before I broke the seal. Before a condom rapper and Plan B. A kid for real, bright green. YouTube to MP3, whizzing currency. Waking up to hoop, the alarm clock not disturbing me. Looks like you're moving, but you're not. Nice rims showing off the pop phenomenon. I was thinking out the box. Working so hard, I'm about to plot. Told these motherfuckers kick rocks. Looks like you're moving, but you're not. Nice rims showing off the pop phenomenon. I was thinking out the box. Working so hard, I'm about to plot. Told these motherfuckers kick rocks.
Yeah, a little bit. Solid feel, I agree.
Any particular style that you like? Do you see any future for certain styles or any styles that you're trying to get into or do yourself?
Any styles? I'm a style.
I'm not a system player. I am a system. You know what I mean? So
I don't give a what nobody think. I'm him. If I don't take it, who gonna take it with me?
Wow. That Zoo York line was crazy. that was a blast from the past for sure. Wow. Okay. Let's break it down. Let's talk about it because that was a crazy return for Waz. That was definitely a crazy return. Let's see here. So we're gonna talk about three things here. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, instrumental is very Waz choice, a very Waz choice. Definitely has that good like lo-fi, like boom bap kind of feel. Sample's great, very like relaxing kind of vibe, but still like has a ton of energy. So I like the choice off rip. Instrumental mix is fantastic, to be honest with you. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on this. Sound selection's great. Vocals sound nice. Not too loud, but not too low either. Definitely hits that good sweet spot for sure. So Definitely no gripes with the instrumental. Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand, I kind of want to say drums. I feel like the drums go really, really hard and definitely keep up the pace here. And the sound selection on the drums is great too. It keeps with the tone of the overall instrumental. So let's go drums. Let's definitely go drums. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, again, fantastic. Crisp, clean, clear, straight to the point. Waz has always been an artist that's had a really solid vocal mix no matter what we've reacted to from them. So I'm not really shocked that they have a really solid vocal mix, but something I always want to point out for anybody new here. So vocals, definitely solid. Vocal Shining Star. Oh, it's got to be the writing, right? I mean, flow and cadence and delivery is very solid, very loose. I feel like you could definitely argue flow, but writing overall was great. Definitely hits that good like summer feel, but also like it's very serious too. Let's go writing. Let's definitely go writing. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Aesthetics are very, very interesting. This is definitely like hitting that was kind of feel, but at the same time, it's very like it's striking, you know, especially with like the old school iPhone, and then like the almost like library feel to this, you know, like old school textbook kind of feel. Simple but very eye catching for sure. Definitely album worthy. Overall theme. I definitely wouldn't dig too deep for a theme here. This is definitely a track where Waz really shows off their skills, their writing, their lyricism, their flows and cadences. You know what I mean? It's definitely one you got to enjoy for the artistry for sure. So, well done, my friends. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Just Waz. Make sure you go sub to their Topic channel on YouTube like we just did. We're only 6 subs away from 10. And of course, make sure you go follow Waz on Twitter. They are approaching 1.1K on the Bird app. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Get it. And if you already have, by the way, thank you for viewing the videos, dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good jazz over there on YouTube. I see you guys showing love, and we appreciate it here at Music Mondays. So, up next, we got the homie Sin, a very, very talented hip-hop artist, is back with another track from the Vault mixtape. Rally for Reality, the last two from our compilation, the Vault mixtape part 1. The title is in reference to being the last among our friend group still enjoying making music, while the rhymes are more of a stream of consciousness. Holy shit. That's actually deep as fuck. The last two, huh? That's a crazy concept, man. I know what that's like. I mean, being the last two in any friend group doing anything is a fucking feeling for sure. It's definitely a feeling, man. Let's get into it. Rally for Reality, Sin, the last two.
It's my cousin. I just love him. Love him so. Scenes that's in my dreams, you may scream from the memory of what I see mentally.
Yo, insert sanity here. What's become of me from breathing in the ills of the world and larger abundances? I thought at first they pulled the carpet from under me. Or is it that I'm the last one standing high enough above the sea? that they pushing less than notable quotables, cloning and blowing overdues away. And hard proof. And everybody's soul is on the market. Starting with a target audience too young to know what profit is. Yet I'm calm, surrounded by all types of harm. Killing time alone, writing up small kites and songs to deliver to the ones that need to read it and hear it, in the hopes of counterbalancing the most feeble of spirits.
What the fuck? Yo. Holy shit. Rally's still rallying for real. The ending is crazy. Yeah, the ending is totally crazy. Holy fuck. I love tracks that do that, bro. They just like let the acapella ride. I feel like that shit is so hard, especially for a track like that. Man, the Vault mixtape, man, this shit never disappoints. The last two, so this is track 3, man. We did quite a few of these, but I'm surprised we haven't done this one yet. Helps hype it up great. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. Shit. Okay, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of the last 2. So, instrumental is fantastic, actually. I love the choice for sure. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Both of them sound fantastic on this. Drums cut through nicely, vocals sound nice. Nothing that I would ultimately change on this, to be real with you. Usually Sin and crew have a very solid mix, especially for some of the earlier tracks, which is super impressive. You know what I mean? Like, some of the earlier tracks have such a good mix on them that you would have never guessed that they came out 10 years ago. But with that said, instrumental mix solid. Instrumental Shining Star. I feel like the melody is really storytelling. I feel like the melody really sets the tone for like telling a story, you know? It definitely feels that like has that feel of like walking down like a rainy alley in like New York or like some big city, you know what I mean? Just like super late at night. I feel like the melody really sets the tone here. Yeah, let's go melody for sure. The instrumental solid. Definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. I mean, again, just like the instrumental, you know, there's never an issue with Sin's vocals at all. You know what I mean? Or even Rally as a crew, right? I definitely think they do really well. Again, considering the older the tracks are, like the fact that there's this well kept is just, it's amazing, to be honest with you. I love seeing it, you know, because again, this could drop today and you'd never know that it was made, like I said, like 10 years ago. So both of their vocal mix is very solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing I would like ultimately change on this. Vocal Shining Star though. I'm kind of torn between writing and then flow and cadence and delivery. But I feel like the flow and cadence and delivery really like put more emphasis on the writing. So we're probably gonna go flow and cadence, to be real. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, flow and cadence, and delivery. Let's talk theme. So for those of you that are new here, you'll come to find out that I'm a big fan of the Vault covers. Vault Part 1 and Vault Part 2 have some of the coolest covers that I've seen for a concept like this, right? Project of remixed mainstream industry beats, right? You know, aka the Vault. And especially with them being so old, I feel like this was really packaged well. You know what I mean? Really packaged well. So I've always been a fan of the Vault concept, and I think both of the covers for Part 1 and 2 are super solid for full albums like this, especially for concept albums, right? Because again, you're not going to put this on streaming, so it's like, okay, like how can we present this in like a packaged way, right? And I think they did a good job, for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme, I feel like Sin really described it pretty well, to be honest with you. Title is in reference to being the last among our friend group still enjoying music, while the rhymes are more of a stream of consciousness. Yeah, like a very like current state of mind kind of feel, but also like the meaning of the track in general is the last two, right? And I feel like that concept in itself is something I have been thinking about a lot myself, actually. You know what I mean? Like the last of the old guard, you know, the last of the crew, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but kind of makes you want to go harder anyway, you know, because sometimes you just like start going hard with music or gaming or streaming or whatever you do, right? And sometimes you look back in the rearview mirror and you're like, holy shit, you know what I mean? You're like, wow, it's been years, it's been this, it's been that. And you're still here doing this, making progress. But sometimes when you lock in so hard, you don't even like have time to look back, you know. So tracks like these will always make you reminisce and make you think back on more older times. But also like for me personally, I wouldn't trade it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to go. You know, things kind of happen for a reason. You know, and I like to chalk certain life experiences up to, you know, it was meant to be that way kind of thing. You know, so well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to Sin and Rally for Reality. Make sure you go follow them on Bandcamp, and of course, make sure you go follow Sin on Twitter. They are literally 9 followers away from 460, so make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz on the channel. Let's get it, baby. All right, so we left off with the homie Sin. Up next is the homie Most Dope Kimon, aka 730. They came through with a brand new music video, Keep Shit P. Now, this has been one of the all-stars on the Music Mondays podcast, man. Kimon has one of the greatest work ethics that we've seen here on the show, but also they just genuinely love what they do. You know, so very, very talented. Multi-genre hip-hop adjacent artist has submitted the official music video for Keep Shit P. Calm down. For those of you that know, their music videos have just been fucking crazy as of lately, so I'm definitely down. So 6 days ago, super new, EP soon, Proud YC1. Why are you so underrated? Take a little time sometimes. Yep, that's right. I like that response. We'll drop a like on that. That's funny. That is funny. All right, man. 720 full screen. Let's go full volume. Bam. Let's get into it. Most Dope Kimon, Keep Shit P. Holy shit.
Puss on me, little baby, please don't tell nobody. With it, puss on me, little baby, please don't tell nobody. Keep shit peas, keep it on low, please don't tell nobody. Keep shit peas, keep it on low, please don't tell nobody. Keep shit peas, keep it on low, please don't tell nobody. This shit on the floor, please don't tell nobody. I run up rest, I say I'm patting. Hood fashion, baby, no rust, I say, red flags on with it black to status. With it black to status, proud of bad, you know we haven't read. Collar soda, he gon' pull up bad with them fucking reds. Collar tea, he gon' pull up bad with a handstand. Put that puss on me, look at it, he don't tell nobody. I been riding in a wild. I done crashed the part on wild. I'm a star, not lit. Put that puss on me, little baby. We got dress in the area, them puss niggas scary, baby. We got dress in the area, them puss niggas scary, baby. Then I Drake and Kendrick, bitch. I ain't beefing with lame niggas. Okay, put that puss on me, little baby. Please don't tell nobody. Keep shit P, keep it on the low. Please don't tell nobody. Okay.
Damn, bro. Damn, bro. Yo, it's gonna be so hard to top these videos, man. It's gonna be so hard to top these videos. They're just so, like... I'm just such a big fan of them personally, but also, like, other people that I've spoken to would definitely agree that these are, like, brings back that like pure underground feel, and I'll say it every time, man. It just really hits that sweet spot that I think not the underground has been missing, right? Because there are definitely other artists out here that are grinding, but when it comes to our community, right, and things we've seen on the show and things we've seen around Music Mondays, um, this is just crazy. This is just so crazy. Um, but let's talk about it, man. Let's break it down. So, shit. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the official music video for Keep Shit Pete. So, all right. Let's talk instrumental. So Kimon's producer, YC has just been insane. You know what I mean? I noticed that they produce a lot of their tracks. I wouldn't say like every single one, but quite a few of their tracks, and you can just tell that they're quite the duo. You know what I mean? They're definitely quite the duo, which I think is like super important to find in your career early on. You know, because if you can find a producer that's like on your level and kind of doing what you're doing, and you guys can lock in with like a similar sound, this can be the result. You know what I mean? So locking in with a prod is always such a good thing. But let's talk mix. Instrumental mix is fucking insane. I mean, the 808s instantly come to mind, right? I feel like the drums on this just exceed expectations. You know, crisp, clean, clear. Sound selection's amazing. Kimon sounds great on the instrumental. Like I said, drums cut through nicely. So, I mean, no gripes with the mix at all. You know, I haven't had a gripe with any of Kimon's mixes since their first submission, to be honest with you. Not really a shocker, but something I always want to point out for anybody new here. So, instrumental mix, definitely solid. Definitely solid. No gripes there. Instrumental shining star is no doubt the drums. It's no doubt the drums. 100% it's the drums. I mean, you could definitely make a case for the melody, right? But I feel like the drums really take a lead here. Really take a lead. They have that like just real high energy feel, and it's just insane. It's just really insane, and it just fits Kimon so well. So, let's go drums. Let's definitely go drums for sure. So, instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, fantastic. You know, Kimon's one of the artists that prefers processing and wants their vocals to sound a certain way, and they're so original yet so like up to standard. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do this kind of style, you got to make sure your vocals are solid, and that's what Kimon does. You know what I mean? So that's what I really like about it is like it's not overly processed, but it hits that nice sweet spot of what their vocals could and should sound like on an instrumental like this. So you know, it leaves room for it to be like a little bit more melodic, but also like it's in your face and still clean and clear. You know, so it again it hits that nice sweet spot. So vocal mix, solid. Vocal shining star. You know, I really want to go flow and cadence and delivery on this one. Just because Kimon really, you know, it sounds like they're just sliding, you know, like they're just gliding on the instrumental, and they're very like comfortable, but it's not like a lazy flow at all. You know, it's definitely not that like lazy flow. It has purpose and intent, but it's very like effortless almost. You know what I mean? So that's what's really noticeable about that. So definitely flow and cadence and delivery for sure. So instrumental solid, drums for sure, vocal solid, flow and cadence delivery. Let's talk about the music video. So this will probably be like the fourth or fifth visual and music video we've reacted to from Kimon, and this one again switches things up, and this is what I like. You know, like you don't have to go out of your way to get a little creative with your visuals. You know what I mean? Like if you have a good crew and a good cameraman, the opportunities are fucking endless. You know, like all you need to do is do it. You know what I mean? Like just have a little fun with it. You know, because we've seen Kimon have like B-roll visuals where, you know, it's almost like vlog style, and they're in convenience stores, or you know, more music videos where they're, you know, in a parking garage or an apartment complex or something like that. But this one, you know, takes it to the studio, which again I feel like is not that hard to think of, but it's also like good because you're switching it up. You know what I mean? Like you're not always filming videos in the same places. You're not always like repeating the same aesthetics. And this one definitely switched up, which I really like. You know, like even filming like outside the studio and then in the studio, and then there's like a little bit of footage of them outside the store, right? Outside the convenience store. So again, it's the locations that I think are fucking key here. You know what I mean? And you don't really have to go out of your way or even need a budget. You know, like obviously a small budget or whatever, but you don't really need to go too outside the box to get like a good location and a good shot. You know, just use your imagination a little bit, and you could easily get results like this too. You know what I mean? But Kimon just gets it, so this is why they kind of progressed. You know, in this fashion. You know, which I really like. You know, because you just have to care about your art. You know, like that's really all it is caring about your work. And I feel like Kimon really does. You know what I mean? It's just so evident from this video and their last like 4 videos. You know what I mean? So, Shining Star here is definitely the location for sure. Minimal editing makes it really enjoyable to watch. Kimon's loose, having fun. You know, come on. Doesn't really get much more DIY and underground than this. You know, so well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Most Dope Kimon. Make sure you go follow them on YouTube. They are only 30 subs away from 100. That's a W milestone. So make sure you go sub to their channel. And of course, make sure you go follow Kimon's side account on Twitter. We're only 5 followers away from 10. Make sure you go show them some love over there in the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes and full exclusive segments, underground tips and tricks, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Alrighty, my friends. Let's get into it. So, we left off with the homie Kimon. Up next is the homie Braden. They've been on the run of a lifetime in 2025. They've been going crazy with the singles, smaller projects. Braden's really kicking it in gear for 2025. But a multi-genre artist Braden has submitted to the max. Next reaction is the album. I'm down, my friend. Let's spot this open new tab. Let's see what we got here. To the max. Let's see when this dropped here. February 16th. So literally only just over a month old actually. Very new. Let's get into it here, my friends. I'm down. I'm down to see what Braden is up to. All right. Braden to the max. Let's go.
Fuck you, fuck the plane going on, fuck them shoes, fuck the socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay ass fairy faggot ass, fuck them cheap ass cigars, fuck your yuck mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece, fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie, fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen.
I was in my crib counting all these fucking racks, and I'm missing bad bitches, so I had to double back. I got diamonds in my teeth, but the fit all black. You know if I pull up on you, you know we gon' smoke a pack. Why the fuck you talking? That was talking whack. You know if you talking tough, that boy's getting whacked. With my twin for the win, I'm like Cody and you Zach. You know I want hella plaques, boy, going to the max. When I hop on the mic, crank the volume. I got so many tools, got a problem. If you talking shit, you know I'ma off you. All these bitches that can fake like a costume. I've been smoking so much green.
Holy shit.
You don't know me, bitch, I don't know you. I made a whole ass band without Pro Tools. To the function, they like you so cool. Fresh as fuck. Yeah, I'm swinging fresh as fuck. I'm with Breda and he got that shit, don't ever mess it up. Feelings going to the top, we bout to level up. Drop all the drugs on my body, picked it up. Pissy snow on my brother's face, he turning hella dumb. People fighting over dumb shit, I'ma get involved. Fake friends always go to me, never showing love. Fake people always wonder around, they acting like they
Step up with that function, moving so rude. I sit tryna work a link, no can do. Got a bouncy on my head like some can too. I remember days I was choppy, eating kid food. There ain't nothing that I can't do, I land shots. Marksman, I only need an estimate to blame ops. And I'm tired of always running down the same niggas. I've been posting in all they trenches like I'm Matt Ox. Gang, bitch I'm Lil V, niggas cannot kill me. Young Hooper pushes 6 feet, now he down 6 feet. Or because he tryna diss me, I burnt him crispy.
I was in my crib counting all these fucking racks, and I'm missing bad bitches, so I had to double back. I got diamonds in my teeth, but the fit all black. You know if I pull up on you, you know we gon' smoke a pack. Why the fuck you talking? That boy talking whack. You know if you talking tough, that boy whack. With my twin for the win, I'm like Cody and you Zach. You know I want hella plaques, boy, going to the max.
Wasn't no move. The smart
Holy
thing was
shit.
to say yes, get up, and leave the room. But then I thought to myself, what if this was a movie?
Huh. Okay, that one had a shit ton of energy, man. That had quite the vibe to it. Holy fuck. God damn. Okay, but a very Braden style track though. You know, Braden definitely can gravitate towards multiple genres, but the fast pace, like alt trap, alt pop, you know, kind of dark pop kind of feel here. Man, And I like the two features as well. I feel like that's a great trio there. That's definitely a great trio for sure. So, let's talk. We're gonna break this down. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. We're gonna talk about the overall theme of To the Max. Let's see here. So, instrumental mix, very interesting. You know, instrumentals like these can sometimes be a bitch to mix, especially when it comes to like layering the vocals in and things like that. But for where it's at, it's not too bad at all. Nothing super clashing, nothing that's overbearing to be honest with you, especially for like what it is, right? It definitely has like the proper amount of mud to it, which I do think is very solid. Definitely doing it a favor there. So instrumental mix solid for where it's at, for sure. Instrumental shining star. You know, you could say melody on this one, but I feel like the drums are a big deal though. The drums are like almost like another artist on the track. Let's go drums. Let's definitely go drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, especially for Braden. They went a little bit into a little bit of a like a more processed vocal style, which I thought was sick. You know, especially for the track. You know, I mean, I say this all the time. You know, artists kind of mix their vocals based on what kind of track it is or what kind of style they want to do, or if they have a set sound, they'll usually just go with their set sound. But Braden kind of switched it up here a bit and mixed their vocals in a different way, which I feel like really, what's the word? Enhanced the track. It definitely enhanced the track for sure. So I like that Braden kind of switched it up here and went a little less clean and definitely tried to like fry the vocals a bit, which I thought was solid for sure. So vocal mix definitely on point, as well as the features as well. I felt like the features definitely mixed well with the instrumental as well. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums definitely cut through nicely, but Braden's vocals definitely stuck out for sure. Vocal shining star. You know, writing's up there. I definitely feel like writing's up there, but the flow and cadence and delivery throughout the whole track is just wow. It's really up there. So flow, cadence, and delivery definitely hit the mark for me. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, flow and cadence, delivery. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Low bathroom selfie, but you know, again, we have this blue hue filter on it, which again adds to Braden's aesthetics, you know, especially as an artist. Again, there's no rule that you need to have all your covers kind of like similar or anything like that. But you know, Braden does a really good job with it and keeps it pretty consistent, but also switches it up a bit, you know, which I think is great. But yeah, perfect for a single. 100% perfect for a single, and definitely goes with the rest of the covers for sure. Overall theme, I wouldn't dig too deep for a theme on this one either. Definitely one where Braden kind of shows off their skills, right, when it comes to flow and cadence and their writing and their punchlines and things like that. It's definitely one where I appreciate the artistry for it, and I wouldn't look too deep in the theme, but definitely enjoy the track for what it is. 100%. Definitely has that like hype, like get up and go kind of energy. So, well done, my friends. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Braden. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Braden on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Braden on Twitter. They are only, quite literally, 3 followers away from 5. So make sure you go show them some love on the bird out, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Much love. Let's go, my friends. That was quite the submission from Braden, man. Well done. But speaking of which, we left off with the homie Braden, and up next is the homie Ra. Now, it's been a while since we heard from Ra, man. I think like 2023 or even like 2024, man. But a very talented hip-hop artist has submitted Final Toast. I'm down. Let's see what Ra's been up to, man. It's been quite some time. It's definitely been quite some time. February 5th. So obviously not super old at all, only about a month, a little over old. Let's get into it. Raw, Final Toast, I'm down.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out today. We're here to cap off this final trilogy by Raw. Before we go, just raise a glass in the air. It's got a final message for y'all. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Pour me up a glass, I drink it straight, cause I ain't chasing no waves. Rather fortify my legacy through building this lane. Brick and mortar, how I flourish, never bartered by fame. Independence flowing through veins, you know I'm breaking from chains. All my masters in my publishing, they breaking for change. Cut a percentage, losing leverage, how these niggas be slaves. Another sheep inside the stable. Try to take a seat, we kick you from the table. Missing connection like you ain't got no cable. Isosceles and circumference where y'all got crooked angles. Chopped them out the garden to blossom spores some echinacea. Blowing smoke, there's be no Reggie. No, I'm packing scones. What comes and goes is part of the game unless you skip the toll. Breaking bread over petty crumbs, I'm breaking loaves. Pen to paper, my focus. No, I don't need to boast. Fucking ass nigga. Shit. You know how it goes. Cooking in the kitchen, proficient wearing the master's coat. Had to give him a 3-piece combo and let the platter roast. Down and off for courses for pleasure before the feast will show. Grabbing ramen lost at the tartar with the ramen y'all. Feeling like a dawn of a god, I'm always raw so. No, it's just the start of my blessings along this brighter road. Raising up my glass with the message because we're drawing close. Time to go on cap of this trilogy with the final toast. I said it's time to go on cap of this trilogy with the final toast. Man, y'all niggas ain't shit, man. Hey, yo.
Wow.
I said it's time to go and cap with this trilogy with the final toast. Y'all niggas ain't listening, boy. Keep it raw.
Well done. Well done. Quick, straight to the point, but had like so much substance to it as well. Like so much substance. Holy shit. I guess we got our answer on what Raw's been up to, my friends. Holy. All right. Shit. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Final Toast. So let's talk instrumental. A very like laid back, almost R&B style instrumental, but also definitely has that like classic hip hop feel to it as well. So I like the choice for Raw, especially for like for their style, like their vision for this track. I like the choice about it, so definitely a solid instrumental. Instrumental mix is super, super on point. Nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing I would like ultimately change on this at all. Sound selection was great, had a nice relaxing vibe to it, but the drums kept up the pace. Definitely wasn't clashing with vocals or anything like that. Drums totally cut through nicely, so nothing that I would ultimately change whatsoever. So instrumental mix, very solid. Instrumental Shining Star. You really could go melody on this if I'm being honest with you. I feel like melody's definitely a solid choice for this. But drums are up there too. I like the structure as well, but let's go melody. Melody definitely sets the tone. I feel like it's very, very rememberable. And if you heard like just 2 seconds of it, definitely one of those songs that you'd like stop and listen to, So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocals, let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, very much on point. Raw has like this very natural Raw style, if you will, no pun intended. But it's perfect for the vision and the style that they wanted this track in, straight in your face, clear, clean, crisp, straight to the point. You know what I mean? So vocals definitely solid. And again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. I feel like they hit a really good spot with their vocals on this one, for sure. So vocal Shining Star. Again, I'm kind of torn between flow and cadence and delivery, right? But the hook definitely up there too. I feel like the hook is definitely catchy, very memorable as well. But I kind of want to say flow and cadence and delivery. Just again, it just makes the writing and the lyrics like have so much more emphasis on them, So let's go flow and cadence and delivery. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, flow and cadence delivery. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. For a final toast, this is excellent. This is fucking excellent. Has this like super like high def like in-person photo and then the parental advisory at the bottom mid. I mean, went the simple, very eye-catching minimal route. I thought this was fucking fantastic. Especially for a single, you know what I mean? Like something called Final Toast, this fucking nailed it for sure. And I love like the vintage quality on it too. Like it kind of has that like grain on it a bit. So aesthetics very much on point. Final Toast, I wouldn't dig too deep for like a super insane theme on Final Toast, but it definitely felt like a message that Raw wanted to get out. You know, there was definitely a wide variety of things that I felt like they wanted to get off their chest. So it did kind of feel like a final send off, you know, for certain topics in their life, which I feel like they definitely accomplished here for sure. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Raw. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Raw on Twitter. They're only 8 followers away from 560. And thank you so much for your submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow them on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists the channel some love. Get it. If you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friend. All right. So, we left off with the homie Raw. Up next is the homie Ghost, a very, very talented producer, has been on quite the unreleased run. And then from that, working with so many other artists and just really having a solid 2025. But the homie Ghost sent in another unreleased instrumental. I'm down. Let's pop this open in Dropbox real quick, and let's see what we got here. I'm down, my friend. I'm very, very down. All right, so a little bit of unreleased from the homie Ghost. Beat 23, 150 BPM, co-prod vendor. Let's get into it. Ghost. Waveform is crazy. Vendor's so talented, not gonna lie. Shout out Vendor. Whoa. Comes in so nice. Well done. Holy shit. Wow. Wow. It's ultra hyphy sounding way fresh. No, I agree. I totally agree. And yeah, shout out Vendor, man. Definitely shout out Vendor. Um, this is one of the most interesting instrumentals that we've heard from Ghost so far, in my opinion. Um, I wouldn't say it's like the best or anything like that, but personally, I found this one very unique. To be honest with you, I love the melody. Drums are super unique. It just has such a very like ethereal, space-like, man on a mission kind of style, you know, but still very dark and hits in the right places. You know what I mean? So it really is hitting like a nice sweet spot. Because it's not really leaning too hard into like any genre. You know, it's a nice mixed bag of things. Um, but let's break it down. Let's talk about it. So obviously no vocals. So we're gonna talk about two things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, instrumental. Let's talk mix. Mix is great. Mix is really, really fucking great. Like instrumental on its own, I think the mix is fantastic. I never really have any gripes with anything that Ghost has ever worked on, to be honest with you. Not even anything from Laveri's, not even anything from their instrumentals, not even anything to their unreleased. So not really a shocker here, but something you always want to point out for anybody new. Ghost definitely has a really good lock on their instrumental mix for sure. So I definitely think this mix is right where it needs to be. I wouldn't change a thing. Instrumental mix solid, instrumental shining star. Now this one's difficult, right? Because you could go drums. Melody is very recognizable and very rememberable, but the drums, But again, I feel like focusing so much on the drums and the bass, you kind of forget about the structure and how it's structured out. You know, there's a lot of small things that make this instrumental very entertaining, you know, because they could be, again, just released on their own and it still hold its own weight just because of the variety in the structure. You know, it's not like too erratic or experimental, but it's a nice structure to listen to, you know, and especially for an artist, if they wanted to put vocals on it, it's one of those things where the instrumental stays fresh, you know, throughout the whole track, you know, and what, 324, you know what I mean? Like 324, it didn't even feel like a 3-minute instrumental, you know, that's how like entertaining it was as a listener. You know, it doesn't even feel like a 3-minute instrumental at all. Which I think is it's a big key there, you know. So I'm gonna go structure for this one. I like the way that this was structured out, but drums and melody are a really close second for sure, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely structure. Can't box in any genre. Yeah, no way, definitely can't box you in a genre. No way, especially from everything that I've heard here on the show. No way, definitely not. Appreciate that, of course. So like I said, instrumental solid, definitely structure. Let's talk theme. So obviously unreleased, no cover, no anything yet, nothing super official. But this is a collab between Ghost and Vendor, and I find that this is a really solid duo when it comes to production. You know what I mean? Like you really start to get into like genre bending and genre mixing. You know, just like Ghost said in chat, you really can't box them into any particular genre, and I think that's one really solid thing you can take away from this. You know what I mean? Especially instrumentals like this. It comes from your mind, like that's what makes it so unique. You know what I mean? Like no person or no AI or nobody could cook up some shit like this because it's coming from you. You know what I mean? It's coming from your mind. It's coming from your soul. You know, so when I hear instrumentals like this, you can tell that it's pure. You know what I mean? And that's what I really like about it. So, well done, my friends. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Ghost. Thank you so much for the submission. Of course, per usual, make sure you go follow Ghost on Twitter, man. They are only 8 followers away from 520. Make sure you go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. Let's get it. Okay, so we left off the homie Ghost. Up next would be the homie TDG, but we already reacted to TDG earlier in the show because they are our Music Mondays Patreon. So huge shout out to TDG and the rest of our Patreon crew. Okay, so up next is the homie Onwuka. Now, Onwuka, very, very talented hip hop artist, has been killing it all 2025 on the show, but this week they submitted a track titled Pop Bubblegum. Got some brand new Insomniac produced by Zethyrus at Dead World Radio, Pop Bubblegum. Insomniac set up the song perfect with all these candy bubblegum lines. Got one of my best video games lines. We help them save the game like we some moogly. No way. All right, hold on. We definitely got to check this out. So we already reacted to a track from Imposter Syndrome. I forget what track it was. It was, I believe it was Soul Joint Cypher. I believe it was that, yeah. Or no, Rain Streaks is what we did. We did Rain Streaks. But this would be what? Let's see here. So this is literally track 3. So very early on in the project. I'm down. I'm definitely down. So we got Insomniac, we got Onwuka, Pop Bubblegum off of Imposter Syndrome. Let's go.
I'm gonna tell you what they want.
They want candy, sweet hits of that licorice. They want a clean heart that you ubiquitous. They want haircuts for the rapping. Hype piece for the sweet, sweet saccharin. Pop bottles, I'm a pop sensation. Pop rocks got the cherry coke chasing. Pop raps got wrists like Twizzlers. Pop hits got a bit like a Rizzler. We make deals off the bubble gum. We make deals off the bubble gum. We make deals off the bubble gum. I bought a house with the bubble gum. Ups and storms and you can't recline. Stress till you act unkind. What's wrong, man? Just unwind. Let the bubbles go and relax your mind. Sucrose, make it dance too close. Next hit, get you high like fructose. 2 doses, I'm hitting that abundant. Pop hits that you run shit.
Insomniac, baby, get you high like fructose. Beep the energy that we provide like glucose. We helping save the game on like we some Mugos. My groove got me shining hotter than Cusco. I'm popping with the bubble and stunner talk. Straight dripping like butterscotch. Leave your vision with clutter thoughts. Sweet flavor. When I hop in the candy, see a player break them up like rock candy and taffy.
Make deals off the bubble gum.
What the fuck?
Make deals off the bubble gum.
I'm gonna be bubbling. Get it poppin'. Like some bubble gum.
House with bubble gum.
A whole candy
Make deals off the bubble gum.
Off the bubble gum.
Make deals off the bubble gum.
I'm gonna be bubbling.
Make deals off
Get it
the bubble gum.
poppin'. Like some bubble gum.
Make deals off the make.
Huh. Holy shit. This is very interesting. I would have got that feature back and I would have been like, holy shit. That's like what you want when you want a feature, you know what I mean? Like if you have a vision with an artist and they send you back something like that, it's like, holy shit. You know what I mean? It's like, holy fuck. Yeah, fun bubblegum track. Yeah, nah, for sure. That movie line my subconscious made up, I was spitting one of my sickest game lines. They legitimately help you save the game. Yeah, right. I was like, wait a second. But also the flow and cadence from Onwuka here was really crazy too. And Insomniac thought of getting me on it. Yeah, because you know that's smart because it's like you have the vision for those very like theme centered tracks, you know. So I probably would have thought of that too. You know, it just makes sense. That's definitely a no brainer. I'm glad he did for sure. All right, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. So we're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Pop Bubblegum. So instrumental. Solid, especially for the vision, right? It's a fun, lighthearted kind of, very much hip hop centered instrumental, but the melody is very, very relaxing and very kind of like it's more of an upbeat instrumental for sure. So for the vision and like what they wanted to do on this, great choice. Instrumental mix though, solid. I think both Insomniac and Onwuka sound great on this. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. I like the smaller effects on it. Sound selection's good. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on this at all, you know what I mean? Yeah, add some samples and some yeah, for sure, for sure. That's what I mean. Like a lot of the smaller stuff is great too. You know what I mean? So I really like the choice for the vision of this track. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. I mean, it's got to be the melody, you know. It does have that like bubblegum hip hop kind of feel to it. It's again very lighthearted, and it sets like the vision, like it really sets the tone, but it makes it easier to envision like all the candy lines just because of the energy from it. You know what I mean? Like it has that lighthearted energy, so you can kind of see the vision there, you know. So let's go melody. Let's definitely go melody for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix for both Insomniac and Onwuka is great. I think they both sound really, really solid on this. Nothing super, super clashy, too overbearing. Nothing I would ultimately change. You know, these are two artists that have like really solid natural voices, and their styles in hip hop definitely kind of gravitate towards that like raw, real, crisp, clean vocal sound, in which I think they both accomplished it. To be honest with you, like I said, nothing super, super clashy. I feel like they both sound really solid on this, and drums cut through nicely. So and nobody's too loud or too low or anything like that. I definitely think the mix is right where it needs to be. Um, vocal shining star. Um, I like the writing, right? But when Onwuka's verse comes on, the flow and cadence and delivery is just like a whole mood change, and you just know Onwuka's about to like spit some real shit. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to go flow and cadence and delivery, but I feel like writing's a close second too. You know what I mean? Onwuka definitely followed suit with the more lighthearted bars, but flow and cadence and delivery takes the cake here. Onwuka just came on this and slid like they were snowboarding down a mountain. You know what I mean? Like literally just sliding. So yeah, flow and cadence and delivery. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, flow, cadence, delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. I spoke a little bit about this cover last week, but again, like for a full project with the black border around it, like I said, I definitely like Insomniac's vision here. You know what I mean? Like one of those like selfie like IRL covers can always do the trick if you just like throw a slight couple of edits on it. You know what I mean? Like just a couple of edits will be solid, and I feel like that's what they did here. So I'm a big fan of this one, especially for like an EP or an album. So the aesthetics definitely get the job done for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme. Pop up. I mean, pop bubblegum. I mean, Onwuka explained it pretty well here. You know what I mean? Insomniac set up this song perfect with all these candy and bubblegum lines. Right, right. And then Onwuka came in and kind of cleaned it up right afterwards. You know what I mean? So I feel like they both hit the mark when it came to like this candy, sweet, filled hip hop track. You know, and man, Insomniac really like set the tone because Onwuka was just able to come in and clean this up super, super easily and really complete the track, you know, almost kind of like the missing piece to it, you know? So it really made for like a solid listen from these two. Wow. Well done, my friends. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Onwuka. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Insomniac and Onwuka on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Onwuka on Twitter. They are only 4 followers away from 720. Make sure you go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. Respect, of course. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. That was a fucking crazy feature. If I was a vocalist and I got that back, I would have been fucking hyped. I would have been like, yo, this motherfucker killed it. Holy shit. But yeah, man, so that's going to conclude episode 217 of the Music Mondays podcast. Let's close it out. Let's give some shout outs. Let's show some love. Let's talk about what's coming over the course of the next week or so. Let's get into it. So, let's see here, chat. So let's do a little shout out to the chat here tonight, man. Salute the stream, man. Yeah, no, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Huge shout out to you, Onwuka, man. Been on a fucking run recently this year, for sure. All right, let's go shout out the chat, man. Huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed motherfucking love tonight. Huge shout out to Ghost coming through with a tier 1 for 3 months. Thank you so much, my friend. Much love and thank you for your continued support and showing some love to the stream, man. And supporting Music Mondays. My fucking dog right there. Huge shout out to the homie Pez for coming through and kicking it. Much love to the homie Pez. Huge shout out to the homie TDG. Thank you for coming through and kicking it, man. We peaked at like 11-12 tonight, which is actually really solid. You know what I mean? The show has just been doing really well this year. So I appreciate you guys coming through and kicking it. Let's see here. I think that's pretty much everybody that popped out. Yeah, and anybody else who lurked and chilled or came through or just it just threw the stream up on a tab or anything like that. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you for supporting the show. Now let's go shout outs to some of our submissions. Huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays patrons. You guys are fucking wonderful. Huge shout out to the homie Levaries, Jordan, TDG, Mark, Ryuki, Kruger, and everybody else over there on Patreon. You guys are awesome. If you want more information on the Music Mondays Patreon, patreon.com/music_Mondays. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight. Huge shout out to Lucha Libro, the homie Pez, Jordan, Hedgelocked, Offspring Asterius, Just Was, Sin, Most Dope Kimon, Braden, Rock, Ghost, TDG on Wuka, Levaries, Elijah, Project Baby, and everyone else who submitted tonight. You guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you. Let's see here, man. So you guys know the drill. Let's see. So what's coming over the course of the next week or so? Patreon update will be this week because, again, we have all of our new graphics set on the stream. So you guys know the drill, man. We have a new stream ending screen. We have new stream graphics and all that good jazz, man. So I'm fucking excited, man. I'm really excited to have that all out. So definitely go check out the trailer on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. But yeah, the Patreon update and then a little bit of a merch update. And then we'll be heading into late spring, early summer with some more bigger events and bigger drops. Kind of going to organize everything over there as well. So get ready for pop in next couple weeks, man. But per usual, submissions will be live for episode 218 tomorrow. So make sure you follow us on socials at All Music Mondays. Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, Tumblr, TikTok, wherever you're at, we're at. So make sure you go follow us on socials and stay up to date. And of course, this episode will be available on our Patreon tonight, and it'll be available on all audio platforms this Thursday, along with the YouTube upload on Saturday. Make sure you go check those out and go show that some love. And per usual, you can stream all the Music Mondays episodes at anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. We're available pretty much everywhere: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that good jazz. Make sure you go check that out as well. And per usual, submissions will be live tomorrow for episode 218 of the Music Mondays podcast, March 18th. So again, if you're watching this live or you're watching this back, they'll be live tomorrow. If you're watching this anywhere else, submissions are already open, so make sure you go drop your links and tracks below. And per usual, well done, my friends. What a solid show. Episode 217 was great, man. What a fucking awesome show. We did some community feedback, some great reaction and reviews, man. I'm just really happy with how the show's going. So huge shout out to all of our community members, man. You guys are fucking amazing. So, with that said, per usual, I stream literally 5 to 6 days a week. Make sure you come stop by, come kick it with the kid. YouTube, speedrunning, gaming, all that good jazz will be available here. And we'll be live tomorrow, per usual, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you follow, subscribe below, everything linked below, all my socials, all the good jazz linked down below. And we'll be live next week for episode 218 of the Music Mondays podcast. And like I said, I'll be live tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that does it, my friends. I love you all. Take care. It's been your boy Zomslays. Be safe. And we'll see you tomorrow and next week for episode 218 of the Music Mondays podcast. So let's get it, baby.